Vitamin D synthesis by exposing your skin to the sun is obviously important, but it is also not as easy as it seems. In fact, a large majority of people who live in sunny climates are still vitamin D deficient. And in fact, a very small percent of this population is sufficient in vitamin D. There are many reasons for this. Many factors come into account: exact geographical location, latitude, altitude also, age, sex, ethnicity is important, skin pigmentation, BMI, etc., etc. So it's a very complex equation, and the result is that exposing yourself to the sun, even if you go outside and get sun every day, which is a good thing, is simply not enough in order to maintain high enough blood levels of vitamin D. And in this paper, you will see that people who live in southern Arizona and who are exposed to sun all year long are still highly vitamin D deficient. Comment, let's have a discussion on this. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. What is your experience with vitamin D? Do you take vitamin D supplementations? How often do you expose your skin to the sun in the spring, in the summer? Let us know where you live also, because that's quite important. And let us know if you have been infected by COVID-19 and if you have also measured your blood level of vitamin D. Let us know all of this in the comments below, and let's have a very interesting and meaningful discussion. So let's have a look at this paper. And also in upcoming videos, I will show you other studies which confirm these results. In these studies, they measured the circulating vitamin D blood level of 619 participants who live in southern Arizona, either Tucson or Phoenix, Arizona, latitude around 33 degrees north. They evaluated the sun exposure of each individual by recording the amount of outside activity and time spent outside in the sun every week. And then they made a breakdown in 4 different categories according to their serum vitamin D level. As you can see in this table here, the first category was below 10 nanograms per milliliter, which is very, very low, okay, very deficient. Then between 10 and 20 nanograms per milliliter, between 20 and 30 nanograms per milliliter, and above 30 nanograms per milliliter, which is considered sufficient. Sufficient is not optimal though, okay? Sufficient really is just barely the minimal amount of vitamin D you would want to have in the 25-OHD form, which is a circulating form of vitamin D in the blood. And here you can see the average age, the percentage of male and female, ethnicities, etc. The average age was 61.6 years old, and we had roughly 46.2% males, okay? A majority of these participants were white, 72.7%, and we're going to talk a bit more about ethnicities later in the talk. And the data shows very clearly right away that a large majority of these people had a low level of circulating vitamin D. Nearly 78% of these participants had a blood level below 30 nanograms per milliliter, which is really the minimum you would want to have. 78% despite living in a very sunny climate. The average 25-OHD concentration by race is as following here. As you can see, the numbers do vary by ethnicity. Native Americans had the highest concentration with 28.2 nanograms per milliliter, which is still very low. Okay, let's face it, it's still below 30 nanograms per milliliter. Black people had the lowest level, 18.2, which is very low and considered deficient. Now, there was also a little bit of difference between men and women. Women tended to have a lower circulating 25-OHD concentration, and also those with a higher BMI tended to have a lower 25-OHD concentration. Very interesting. It is also worth noting that 76% of white people had a level below 30 nanograms per milliliter. 88% of Hispanics had a level below 30 nanograms per milliliter. 89% of black people and 60% of Native Americans who had the highest level of vitamin D, probably because they are more exposed to the sun. But still, 60% of Native Americans had a level below 30 nanograms per milliliter. That's a very, very interesting finding in a very sunny climate. There are also differences between seasons, obviously, even though the numbers are not hugely different. As you can see, if we look at the mean 25 OHD concentration, in winter the values are the lowest, as you would expect, because the sun is lower in the sky and therefore there is less opportunity to synthesize vitamin D. And this increases in the summer to 29.3 nanograms per milliliter, which is still below 30, okay? Therefore it is very telling. Exposing your skin to the sun or thinking you can get enough vitamin D by exposing your skin to the sun all year long is simply not true, and this study shows it here. Similar results have been obtained in other studies in Florida, for example, in other countries as well, and I will show you more data in the upcoming videos. In summary, the authors wrote that vitamin D deficiency, which can lead to rickets, is also associated with a number of other diseases, including cancer, diabetes, and heart disease. So here it is. I hope you enjoyed the summary of this study, and let me know in the comments what you think if you live in a sunny climate and how often do you get sun exposure. Have you measured your vitamin D blood level and what are the results? That would be very interesting to know. Thanks a lot again for your interest and for watching these videos. If you liked it, click on the like button. Subscribe to the channel to be informed when new videos are coming out. I will be posting many more videos on this topic and other topics as well. And don't forget to also visit the StandbridgeScientific.com website, where you can find a lot more very useful information on COVID-19, the vaccines, vitamin D, and a lot of other topics under the COVID-19 tab. So go and have a look if you have not seen it yet. And you can also add your comments directly there, okay? So we can also start a discussion on this website as well. So thanks a lot again for checking these videos and for liking them, and I will see you in the next video.